Twitch is starting. Twitch is starting. YouTube is on. There we go. Good. El Ruru has been treated. Good girl. Would that be La Ruru? Meh. Okay. Let me get my laptop on over here so I can actually see things. Wait, was that the right password? Maybe. 50-50. Yes, it was. Good, good, good. Get this running. Restore the pages. Thank you. Okay, looks like we've got everything up. Good. Okay. Got my paper towels here. Awesome. There we go. Good grief, so many things popping up on my laptop over here. Holy crap, can we stop? Like, I just want to have a clear screen. Feel none. Orbisquire, huh? Let's see here. Guess I can give a couple of the Vigilators red hair. Hey, Night Freak. It's going pretty good. How about yourself? Yeah, things have been going pretty good here. Been kind of doing a little less streaming recently just because, well, been busy. Oh, I have to re-glue her. Yep. Been busy and did a little bit of assembly on my Tyranids yesterday, so that was some fun. Actually trying to decide on a new color scheme for the Tyranids. Actually, one sec. Oh, I forgot to grab my water pot. One sec. While I'm up, I can grab one of my old gaunts. Nice, nice. Yeah, my NIDs, for the longest, I had them in this kind of style, where they have a kind of brown body with a dull iron carapace and various colors for the weapons, which I'd never really settled on. Usually red eyes and silver teeth. And I thought, you know, it'd be kind of interesting to try something different. So I tried one where I shifted the carapace to be more of a blue-green metallic, which this is with it over black paint. This is the same paint but over the metallic silver or metallic iron that they have base. And then this is the same paint over white. I feel like this one's a bit too much. But then I tried another color of purple, going purple over black, purple over iron, purple over white. I kind of like the purple over white. But the big one that surprised me was sand. Yep, get back here. Sand over black, not really that visible. It's more black than anything. But then sand over iron. That one actually looks kind of cool. A little too shiny, but otherwise, not bad. But sand over white. Like the sand over white, I really kind of like that. So right now it's kind of a debate between the bluish over iron or sand over white for me. Just because both of them are good colors. So, a little bit of debating to do there. That's the plan, is essentially I'm wanting to add some Seraphim Seraph or whatever to the sand one to try and give it a little bit more of a reddish, brownish wash over it. Then if I go with the blue, then I'd probably add a little bit of Nuln Oil or something just to darken it up. And if it goes with the purple, I'd probably add kind of a reddish wash over that. And maybe do some like highlighting of like magenta around the edges of the purple. Right now, just trying to toy around with the various base colors for it and see which one I think looks best. And then from there, start experimenting with highlights and washes over it. Because definitely want to get my Tyranids to a playable state again. Actually have a really cool invasion fleet list that I'm working on. 3 Lictors, 3 Neurolictors, Death Leaper, 2 Exocrines, 60 Gaunts, couple Gene Stealers, stuff like that. Bright side with the termagants, I have around 150 of them. So it's like I can definitely take a few base ones and try it out on different ones to see how it looks. So I'd gotten into Tyranids back in 8th edition, so you could have a lot more termagants than you can now. And worst case, I don't mind using a little bit of IPA to clean the paint off them. Because I really didn't like how one of my models, the Castellan robots for AdMech, I didn't like how the paint had turned out on them. Because I had messed up something. I don't know if it was like too humid when I was painting them or something. But basically, their armor came out with like blotches on it. And this is... I have to move it over a little. Yeah. This is just after a little bit of IPA and cotton swabs. And it's not bad. It seems to get rid of most of the red. Just need to go over it a little bit more, but all in all, it's not too bad. Just kind of something quick and easy to do while zoning out watching YouTube or something. Yep. So, lessons learned. Or ignored, one way or the other. I haven't decided yet. But all in all, like, once I get this lot of Custodes and Sisters finished, then it's going to be on to the next army. Which was originally going to be Death Guard, but I got the itch for Tyranids, so they may be next. See, that's not a bad idea. A warm water bath, huh? It also doesn't hurt that my paint, I don't know exactly what went wrong with it, but my red spray paint really messed up. Like, I didn't notice it when I was using it at first, but at one point on my Chaos Demons, my Corn Demons, it came out like gritty. It was like gritty, chunky paint, which made no sense, and I didn't really notice it until I'd already done a lot of them. Because me being me, I just kind of zoned out and just listened to an audiobook whilst mindlessly spray painting. The part that really messed with me on that one was the fact that it was a new can of paint from Games Workshop. Thankfully, I've gotten a better setup now for base coating. I have a small fume hood set up inside, and I have a airbrush station set up. So that way I can at least normally get it done pretty easy. Yeah, I stopped buying Games Workshop paint a while back. I will have to check into Color Forge, because I have not looked into them. I love my brain. When I was reading over your message of Color Forge, my brain was like, that's not how you spell color. I'm like, no, that is how, like, actual English spells it, not American English. Fun. Honestly, that's not a bad price. And I appreciate the conversion. I'm usually decent, at least, about converting pound to dollar. Just like I kind of weird out my family because I actually generally prefer Celsius to Fahrenheit when I'm working with outdoor temperatures. Cooking Fahrenheit I like. Or sorry, cooking Celsius I like. Fahrenheit, I got them backwards. But still, like, I'm decent at least telling that, you know, cold is cold, hot is hot. That's not the worst thing in the world. You said a bad word. Or you just put stars in. Oh wait, never mind. That's going to be probably a link to their site. I can check that in the auto mod later. Let's see here. I think the Vigilators... Do I want them to have red tassels? I think I'm going to pass on giving them red tassels. I'll reinforce the red on these guys a little bit. Man, it's hard to believe it's already 2026, you know? It's like time is being stupid or something right now. Also, at some point, I need to find some other royalty-free music or some other solution for music. I don't mind the soft music, but I do feel like it might be a little too soft at times. Time is fake. Just like the Earth is flat. Now that's always a funny one there. The fact that it is 2026 and there are still people who believe the Earth is flat. It would have helped if I had grabbed the right, or dipped in the right paint there. You're not wrong. Like, holy crap, last year was so weird. I still remember sitting there, like, mid-April, going, oh my gosh, it's still 2025. How is it not like 2026 or something? Like, how much longer is this year? Wait, we're not even halfway done. Oh well. Thankfully, things are at least decent. Like, things could always be worse. I know for a while, like in, I think it was 2022, 2023, somewhere in that range. A couple friends and I at the office were concerned that we were going to get reactivated to the army. Because it was like, yeah, shit's going crazy right now. You know, if we go to war, like, the veterans will get reactivated even if they're outside of their period for activation before a draft. Just like, yeah, disabled veteran or not, like, I have more combat readiness than a civilian, that's for damn sure. Unless we're talking a hunter in Montana, then those guys, I wouldn't fuck with them. I know at some point this year, I need to look into what all tournaments are in my area. And can I get into something this year? Because I would love to try my hand at a tournament. I have 100% confidence I would lose. But if nothing else, I could make people wonder what the fuck I'm smoking. My lists are usually fairly unconventional. Like, I have a Space Marine list that is legitimately only dreadnoughts. It's like, is it a good list? Not really. Would it definitely shake someone who's not expecting it? Likely. It doesn't really get quite the same punch against one of my friends because he's seen a lot of my antics. And he kind of knows that he needs to bring a bit less dedicated anti-troop most of the time, and more, like, heavy weapons. I just think it'd be fun to try my luck at an actual tournament. If nothing else, to try and get my brain used to the idea of being around that many people. I know I went to Nova Open this last year. That was cool, but the tournament floor was so busy, my brain literally went into a minor panic attack. It's like, I definitely don't want to start at a big tournament. Also, at some point this year, before August, I need to work on a cosplay. Going to Otakon this year, and would like to wear a costume. Not sure from what anime yet, but I need to figure something out. That sounds frustrating. Like, I enjoy some of the neat things you can get off drop shipping, but it's not good quality most of the time. It's just overpriced. One of my favorite things about Otakon is the fact that the Artist Alley still has some pretty good, like, art that you can buy. All from usually local artists. Though there's definitely a few that are, you can tell they're kind of mass marketed. like, AI is great for a lot of things, but, like, I don't know. I've definitely used AI for some interesting art pieces, but nothing that I would try and pawn off as something I made, and nothing that I would try and sell. It's like, I don't know. Like, I like the idea of AI, but I'll definitely say it's also annoying because, like, you can't go on YouTube Shorts without running into AI slop content where it's something that looks close enough to real, but is definitely AI. Like, I enjoy using AI for, like, a little bit of a brainstorm assistant. Like, I have custom Gem set up in Gemini for helping me to bounce ideas around, where I literally have it set up to answer 3 times whenever I ask it a question. The first answer should be to take whatever I have said and find every positive answer to that and give me no negative feedback, just positive. The second answer should give me only negative possibilities. Focus on no positives, just the negatives. And the third should try and take as neutral an answer as possible. And it's honestly pretty good at that. Because then it lets me at least try and get a couple different points of view without having it just be like, hey, you're awesome. Your ideas are awesome. Everything you do is awesome. It's like, no, I don't want an echo chamber. I don't want, like, AI to try and fluff my ego. I don't need that. Another thing I've considered, and I'd definitely like to do some work on it at some point, would be see if I could potentially train a local AI to play Warhammer with me. Like, literally use a camera to take pictures of the battlefield, have like inch markers and stuff like that on the field, and feed in all the data sheets for the armies that are in play along with the rules, and have the AI take its turns and feed it pictures so it can see where everything is. Like, that would definitely be a very slow way to play, but I feel like that could also be kind of an interesting thing to maybe make a video on or something. So if I did that, I would totally need them to be Necron, because then it's AI playing the robot zombies. Like, come on. That just sounds funny. And of course, that's like one of the armies I do not have. I know if I was going to do that, doing it through like Tabletop Simulator would probably be the easier option. And I may work on that, I don't know. If nothing else, it would be unique. That is something that I do hate about how AI is trained. Like, I'm all for saying, sure, if it is like public works, free type stuff, museums, things like that, sure. But the second they start going and taking from private sources, from licensed sources, it's like, that's not right. That is theft. Like, if nothing else, if they want to use that type of info or that type of imagery for training, then they should offer to do a license agreement with whoever is publishing said art that they are wanting to use. Because I'll agree with some aspects of, well, it's just like how a human would look at art and learn. It's like, yes, but how did that human get access to the art? Did the human steal the art and learn from it? Then it's the same thing. But if you're at least paying the artist for their input, or offering a licensing or royalty or something to them, then that at least tries to have a modicum of legality to it. Because that's the hard part with AI, is like, there's no way for them to prove that they have acquired anything legally, because in most cases, they definitely haven't. And it's like, they're not going to pay anyone for that. Why would they? And that's where I definitely do get upset with AI, because it's like, it's handy. Sure, I want AI to get better. Absolutely. But we need to find a compromise that actually keeps it in the same realm of legality as if it was a human. Because I could only imagine the outrage if someone went out and stole tens of millions of different artworks and literatures and all this, and then started using them as inspiration for their own works. Like, that wouldn't fly. Hell no. People would be up in arms so quick over that. But because it's AI, everyone's fine with it? Well, everyone? It's like, no. But, I don't know, like, I don't have a good answer for it. I certainly don't. And the problem is that no one seems to have an answer that they're willing to do. I know a lot of artists are starting to put in some, essentially poison into their art for AI, just various tones and stuff that they can't see. See, layering cause the lack of more black. Yeah, honestly, I'm mostly okay with Larian doing that, as long as it is legitimately trained off only their own stuff. But it's hard. It's hard for anyone to prove anything there. And many people rightfully associate AI art with slop. Like for me, when I start making my game that I'm wanting to work on, I will probably use AI as a concept, and then I'm probably going to reach out to various independent creators and artists to see if I can commission some work from them. Be like, this is what I have worked up with AI. It does not have to be exactly this, but this was something I used to help me at least get the flow started. As I am not good at drawing. I am not good at creating new and novel images. For me, painting is almost like coloring. Like, I can paint very decently in the lines. I can get everything to look uniform. But if you told me to paint this model without the model, fuck no, I couldn't do that. I can definitely say, like, I would not want to try and pawn off AI art as my own creation. Outside of the fact that it's a lie, like, I couldn't get an AI to recreate it exactly the same if I wanted to. Which means that it would be a wholly unique piece that I could never recreate. Therefore, it's really not my piece. And that's fair. Like, that is completely fair. Like, I am not an artist, so I can't say one way or another how I would think that it should or should not be done. I could definitely say, if I was paying someone for an art piece commission, I would be honestly appalled if they used AI in the process. Unless it's like a way for them to bounce color ideas off of it. Or analysis of it. It's like, again, it all just comes down to, as long as the work is actually theirs, that's one thing. But don't try and pawn off work that you didn't do. I always find it slightly amusing how divisive AI is for a lot of people. I have a couple friends who are absolutely obsessed with AI. Then I have a couple friends who are 100% against everything AI. It's like, I definitely get it. It's always funny. Feels like before long, a lot of places are going to have policies of no talk of religion, politics, or AI. And that would be legitimately funny to me. I got this one, okay. Yeah. Copilot is it. Like, personally, the main AI tool that I use a lot is Perplexity. Perplexity, I enjoy. But Perplexity is also not really a generative AI. Perplexity is an AI search assistant. And what's really nice is, like, you ask it a question, and it will actually do several Google searches. It will take the information that it gets and begin actually finding resources in different websites and different documents and assemble it together as a single report for you that you can then ask questions about. And then it'll take that question and then go through the report and through all its resources and find more answers for you. Like, Perplexity is really good if you need to do research. Another great tool that I really like is called Notebook LM. Notebook LM is it's kind of another research and assistance tool. What it does is you feed it documents or videos or audio or anything else, and then it will generate a searchable report of that, trained only off the information that you have given it. And you can use that for a lot of really cool things. Actually, one thing I did with it was in my D&D game that I was playing, I actually feed in the summary of our game. Or not summary, but just kind of the story and outline of what we've done and all that stuff. and I can then have it generate like a play-by-play of how things went, and it can even create a full-on audio podcast style where you can have 1 to 3 people talking about the different things that happened in it. And you can even ask them questions, which is kind of crazy. Like that one, super great tool. That one's in with the Google Gemini suite. So if you don't like using Google, you may not want to touch that one. But all in all, that one's really, really handy. With pocket sand. I know that with salt, some of the folklore is the vampires have to count every grain of salt before they can cross it. Is that the same with sand? Or is it just blinding them? Ah, okay. I always love different little bits of folklore about things like vampires, werewolves, and other mythical creatures. Now the real question there, if you threw loose grains of sand into a vampire's eyes, would they have to count those grains too? Or would they only have to count them if they fell out of their eye while they were counting the other grains? Oh, that would be such a dick move. Like, could you imagine some poor vampire sitting there having to count tens of thousands of grains of sand, and then you just, like, casually throw another bit of sand at them? Then be like, well, you have to count more now, bitch. Oh, gosh. When you think about all the restrictions that vampires have on them in lore, like, it makes you wonder why they would ever be considered truly dangerous. It's like being unable to enter a home uninvited, being unable to cross moving bodies of water, having to count loose grains. It's like, man, I get that you guys have some power, but it feels like y'all are kind of hamstrung by your own rules. Unsure, because I know that technically, from what I've read, vampires cannot enter a place without, like, permission. A warrant would give them permission from one authority, but that wouldn't give them permission explicitly from the homeowner. And I don't know if a vampire's internal morals or rules would override the difference between homeowner and political. Given that vampires are kind of an affront to the laws of nature, I don't think that a political law giving them the right to do something would actually be acknowledged by them. Because they're already going against the natural order of things and the natural law, so would they respect any other laws other than their own, like, racial ethos of sorts? Stand for a second. Watch is telling me that I need to move because yay, fat. Of course, little Rue's just hanging out in the windowsill. Very good. Okay. Yeah. I would definitely assume that if a vampire had a warrant, it would be a 50-50 whether they could enter or not. Because I could see it giving them access, but I could also see them having some struggles with being like, well, the owner didn't invite me in. How funny would it be to literally have like a Warhammer Old World vampire army, and every model you just put a closed door on the base with them? Like, yeah, they haven't been invited to the battle yet. Yep. Or imagine a situation of, a vampire officer is coming by to arrest you with warrant in hand, and you just simply rig up a, 5-gallon bucket of sand to the door, so as soon as they open it, it just spills out 5 gallons of sand on the floor. Vampire just looks at it and goes, "Motherfucker!" 1 minute. Oh, honestly, that would be kind of an amusing game idea of trying to outrun or evade a vampiric police officer. Where you're just on the run from them, using all the various tropes of folklore to slow down said vampire so you can evade them. Like, I could see that being legitimately funny. Oh gosh. So far, so good. So far, so good. Someone's committed a murder. Oh, Oblivion. It was such a good game. So many wonderful bugs. Like, it's hard to beat the likes of Sheogorath. This calls for a celebration! Cheese! Cheese for everyone! Wait, scratch that! No cheese! Cheese for no one! Sorry, my Custodes haven't gotten their breast implants yet. And the idea of female Custodes doesn't hurt my feelings that much. I will say the thing that made me laugh the most at it was in the little Warhammer, like, animation they had with the female Custode. I was just like, honestly, in the grim darkness of the far future, there are still Karens. Like, you literally took the Custodes and made them have the bitchiest bitch that ever bitched. It's like, why? Like, you... But hey, this is one step closer to female space marines. I can only imagine the outrage whenever there's a female Black Templar. Yeah, I get that. I'm all for equality and stuff like that, but, like, it's fantasy. Like, fantasy doesn't have to be equal. Just make sure that they have rose gold armor. Everyone needs rose gold armor. They need power purses. Like, that would be an amazing weapon. Goodness. I've definitely done a few models that are just for good laughs. Like, I have a Blade Champion that has neon green hair and has a sword in each hand and a sword in his mouth. It's like, I can see some neckbeard getting pissy because I made Zoro. And to be fair, like, for me, I honestly find the idea of making people who get way too uptight about the lore and lore accuracy stuff, I find the idea of pissing them off kind of fun. Like, I'm not a troll, but I can definitely say, like, if I had the money for it, yeah, like, Mr. Valerian here would probably have a very different chess piece, and he would probably look much like his fellow sister of battle. So yeah, I agree with that. Like, it's your model. As long as it is, like, the right base size and is clearly distinct as what it is, then who cares? Like, I saw one picture of a Necron warrior a while back, that the Necron warrior was in this pose where its hands were up at its side, like hands above the head, and its Gauss rifle was glued to where its crotch was. It's like, that is very clearly a Necron warrior, and that is very clearly a Gauss rifle equipped on it. That's gonna hip thrust when it attacks probably, but hey, like, it's clearly what it is. Oh gosh. Space Marine 2 is fun. Like, honestly, it is, in my opinion, one of the best, like, video game adaptations for the Warhammer universe that I've played, at least. Fun game. And actually doesn't suck like some of them. That's pretty cool. If I was going to do Necrons, honestly, I think I would probably go with a Tiki Warrior type theme. Like, paint them up to have their metallic bodies have kind of a wood grain paint to them. Give them very much like a strong native or tribal Hawaiian vibe. And the big push for that would be the destroyers. Yeah, sure, one sec. Let me grab a couple of the completed ones. Let's see. This box here. Let me zoom this out just a smidge so I don't have the awkward angle of it. Custodes have a couple cool ones: Gladius Dreadnought, Achilles Dreadnought, 3 Contemptors, 9 Bikes, several of the Terminators, my custom Zoro, So, the gold that I am using specifically is the Army Painter Greedy Gold. Looking for where the hell I put the bottle. But, yeah, Army Painter Greedy Gold, and then once they're done, I use, whatchamacallit, a little bit of Nuln Oil is just a little wash. Yeah, this is the Zorro model. It's silly. I was like, why not? They have 3 different profiles they could choose before. It's always good fun. Honestly, one of the pieces that I'm most proud of is Trajan. Let's see here. Like, him, I had fun with his face, had fun getting all the detail work, and tried to get a little bit of a crackle effect on the axe, but didn't get quite as good as I wanted there. Anyway, catch you around, Wicked. Take care, and thanks for swinging by. Let's put this back before I get too far along. Then back to the work. That one. Down to Valerian. Feel like I moved the camera a little there. Okay, that's a little better, I think. Good times. Feel like his spear spike is a little shorter than the others. I'm not gonna judge him for having a stubby spike, but still. Not all Custodes are showers, some are growers. Ooh, I could see that being pretty cool. I know a buddy of mine, he was going for like a gem growth on a lot of his Necrons, so he went for very prismatic colors and like glued small crystals to them. Honestly, it came out really cool. But I haven't seen his Necrons in like 10 years at this point, so wish I had gotten a picture back then. Nice, so kind of a corroded, rusty type bronze and brass with a bit of metalworking. Yeah. I could see that looking pretty awesome. I already got this guy's sword. Oh, most of it. Thought about buying miniature scale leaves. Yeah, exactly. As long as you put a little super glue on them to keep them from crumbling or anything, then they should hold up for pretty much ever. Very nice. Yep. I got what you meant. Well, as I rarely can judge much on spelling errors and or typos, the amount of them that I have done and consistently do is somewhat concerning and hilarious. What definitely doesn't help much right now is I'm actually messing around some with like Duolingo to try and learn Spanish. And it's like, okay, I'm getting a lot of the stuff okay, but as soon as it goes over to like spelling the words, I'm like, yeah, accents and stuff like that just, oh my gosh, fucks me up. Now, a big thing that I like for some of my basing is chunks of sprue. I'll cut up sprue to make bricks, or cut up sprue and melt it down. And then I'll use that to glop on to make like semi-organic looking structures and things like that. Like, actually, one sec, let me smooth that out some. Like, I have one model that I have done entirely kit bashed with large amounts of sprue goo and just like a lot of various pieces from everywhere. I kit bashed a Kellermorph. Like, this guy, like, just took, he has Necromunda Ganger arms for the pistols. Actually, a Custodes cloak that I used a soldering iron to burn some holes into. Then acetone to get rid of the symbol on the back. And then to flex down the Genestealer Cult icon. Then use the same thing to put some little dents and dings in his armor. And his legs are actually Corn Demon legs that I had spare. Then I used some sprue goo to make the weird baggy pants around them. Use sprue goo to build up this kind of ridge on the back of the cloak to fill in the gaps. Of course, put a hole in the back of the Custodes' helmet that he's standing on. Then little chunks of sprue to make kind of the rubble wall that he's standing in front of. Like, this was a fun model to make. Nice, nice. Good call on sanitizing it. Never know what kind of fun little nasties might be hiding in said sand. My luck, it'd be full of sand fleas. Nice. All honesty, I need to really just get like a old banged up toaster oven off like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or something that I can use for melting plastic. I need to go to the beach again. I've been once. It was a nice experience. Went to a beach out here called Assateague National Park. Essentially, it is one of the few places in the States with a large population of wild horses. And those horses are crazy. Ooh-wee. Nice. Yeah, where I'm at, I think it's about 3 hours to the beach. So not super far. Just a little quick afternoon jaunt. Would love to go fishing again. I went fishing probably, let's see, it's been about 13 years now? Yeah, about 13 years ago was when I went fishing last. Went out to some of the Great Lakes out here and was fishing up Great Northern Pike. It was fun. Didn't exactly appreciate my brother-in-law's skill with the filleting knife. But the fish was tasty. My in-laws took great pride in the fact that they could fillet a fish so well that they could drop the body back in the water and it could swim off. I was like, you know, you could just kill the damn thing first. Like, I'm all for, like, practice and skill, but at least kill what you're skinning. I know where I'm at right now, like, there's some decent fishing, but we have a huge invasive population of some eels that apparently are not very good eating. And you can't throw them back, you have to kill them if you catch them. Near a reservoir and nature reserve. That makes sense. Yep, definitely makes sense. Canada geese are mean. Ducks are cool though. As long as you look past some of the darker nature of the duck, ducks are cool. Geese and Canadian geese are just assholes. You could say they have quite a foul attitude. True. Like, I've never had to deal with swans myself, but I've heard plenty about swans, and they're not only are they mean, but they're actually strong enough to do something. Canadian geese are all just noise and anger. Swans actually have some bulk to them. Toe to toe with a black swan. Ugh. That sounds like an unnerving interaction. And I always like it whenever it's goose season out here. Not hunting season, mind you, but whenever they are in their mating season, because they become so hyper-territorial, and my little dog does not seem to understand that the geese are trying to be aggressive to her, and she wants to pick a fight with every goose she sees. And the geese are generally pretty easily scared off by a very angry-sounding Chihuahua pit bull. The spirit of the angry Chihuahua flows through her blood. Emboldens her to stupidity. So the geese don't bother me that much, because I'm like, they can't really do too much to me or to her. It's when she tries to do that to the deer. It's like, nope, nope. Like, a goose, it might draw some blood, it might be able to bite or something. I'm not afraid of it actually doing harm. But when you're talking a full group of deer, it's like, yeah, no, we're not gonna try and antagonize that. She wholly believes that she can take it on. To be fair, in most cases, deer would run from her. But it only takes that one time for a deer to decide that its only option to survive is to fight. And I generally don't like the idea of messing with something that can mess me up. Squirrels, rabbits, geese, let them know the fear of dog. Deer, no. Squirrels are cute. If they would just not be destructive, they'd be awesome. But as it stands, squirrels are pretty damaging. You get all the crazy neighbors who think they need to feed the squirrels. It's like, no, stop feeding the damn things. They're just tree rats. Like, it's times with all the squirrels that makes me just not wonder, but miss living out in the country. Because at least then I could take a little BB gun or a pellet rifle and just give them a little encouragement to leave the area. Little plink on the tree trunk or something like that. Whereas where I'm at, If you so much as pull out a BB gun or even a slingshot, people go insane. Oh my gosh, it's a weapon! It's like, it's a slingshot. Like, trust me, there's not a lot I could do with this unless I really tried. We have all of those even in town here. Like, I actually found an injured red fox about a month ago. Thankfully, animal control was able to come by and pick it up. So I could definitely tell the poor thing was hurt. You can definitely take out small animals and small game with a slingshot. The city I'm in just has a very, very strict interpretation of what they consider a firearm, which they consider a BB gun and a slingshot to technically be firearms. So you can't fire them outside unless you have 100% guarantee that there's no chance that it can go anywhere else. So yeah, I'd be a little torn on the idea of hunting foxes. Like, I would say if they are causing damage to property, if they are harming livestock and things like that, maybe cull the foxes a little bit, or at least take out the ones that are causing the damage. But otherwise, as long as a animal's not like actively damaging property, I'd be generally fine with just saying let them be. Granted, I also have a soft spot for foxes because I think they are cute looking. Which, they're cute. They're smelly little bastards, but they're cute. Yeah. Not the best. More silver. Not much more. Hey, Rue. How you doing, pup? Oh. Sorry, I got a little dog crawling up wanting my attention. Good girl. Yes, Rue. I'm painting. I'll give you some more attention here in a little bit. Okay? Figure I'm gonna do this for another half hour before we go outside. I know. Oop. Helps if I don't kick my painting desk. feel a little bad for Rue, because the other day she decided to try and be an aggressive little bitch and pick a fight with another dog. And she failed miserably. Not so much in the, like, she got hurt by the other dog. Rather, she lunged at the other dog to try and bite, so not a good action. But she didn't open her mouth wide enough. So she just kind of smacked this, like, 85, 90-pound dog face first, and she wound up breaking a tooth in the process. Thankfully, she seems okay, but keeping an eye on that to see if it gets infected or anything. Hopefully the little turd has learned her lesson and knows better than to charge at something that weighs roughly 3 times what she does. The other dog didn't even seem to care. It was like, whatever. She got a mouthful of my fur, it's fine. No, she definitely won't. Like, this is the second dental issue she's caused by running into things. The first one was she ran into the back of my leg at full speed, and she wound up knocking out a tooth. I didn't even realize it because she doesn't yelp. She doesn't act like she hurt herself. Just noticed a few days afterwards that, oh yeah, you're missing a tooth. And it's right in front, and I've got a huge bruise on the back of my leg where you slammed into me. Huh. Well, that does line up. I doubt that she'll actually learn her lesson. I'd like to think that she will, but I don't see it happening. She's just a smidge too protective of me, and a smidge too protective of food. She seems to think that no other dog should be close to me. Let's picture her going, no, that bitch can't get that close. It's like, well, I mean, you're not wrong in that the other dog's a bitch, but still. Let's try not to be so aggro, little Rue. what's really funny is I feel like having played with the Custodes so much last year really skewed my mind on how points should be for models. So I found it funny when I was working to put together a list on my Tyranids. I'm just like, oh yeah, this is so cheap. I can put so many of these things in. And I'm like, oh wait, yeah, like compared to anything Custodes, every model is cheap. Especially when you look at Tyranids. You want those 5 Custodian Guard? Well, that's going to cost you as much as about 40 Termagants. Actually, it'd be about 30 Termagants, but still. Though if the Custodes get into melee with said Termagants, those Termagants won't matter. Yup. I still remember one of my favorite strategies to do in 8th edition was I would use my Trigon to burrow in a unit of 30 Termagants with Devourers. They would get 90 shots at a single target. Then if that target didn't die, I could spend 1 or 2 CP at that point to do it again. It's like, can you survive a volley of 180 shots? Just from a pure volumetric standpoint, you're going to fail some rolls. People always got so salty whenever I did that. Pop up, delete a target. And then now they've got a nice little gnarly horde of Nids in their backline that they have to deal with. I'd say my biggest complaint about running any Horde army is just the movement phase. What is funny is my next Tyranid list isn't really that swarmy for a Tyranid list. It's mostly focused on like the lictors, neurolictors, death leaper, and a few other like big units. Still much to do. Let's see here. Where is that pen? I've got some more here. I think... Are these the right ones? Not 100% sure if this is the right one. I think it is, yes. It is. Okay. Like to use a paint marker with a different type of gold to do some of the little accents on the armor. Kind of makes things stand out a little bit. Hey, Ryu. What's up? What's up, Rue? What is it, huh? You know, I don't speak dog. I can't understand if you actually need something or not. I think you have to tell me. Thank you, pup. Sorry, she's currently got one of my hands completely occupied. Yes, I love you too, Rue. Oh, goodness. There we go. Make some of that stand out a little more. May have to call it soon. Not sure if Rue is about ready to crap herself or something. Poor little pups over here making all sorts of little weird noises and just like sitting right by me staring up. It's like, she's a sweetheart. Little needy, but a sweetie. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm gonna do a couple more of these guys, Rue, then we can go. Okay? Okay. Actually, knit up one of these guys with the actual leather bracers on, so I can do the eagle on their bracer too now. I wish that this came through on camera a bit better, but it sadly doesn't. Okay. I'll go ahead and call it here. So, well, thank you all for hanging out. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. I will probably be streaming here in a few hours, do some video games here in a bit. So, hope you all have a lovely rest of your day. Take care.